Hi everyone, is Parul, your usual host. Today I have a very exciting guest with me. So we always record and bring you tips on how to boost your self-confidence. I've got my friend Roneish Myers here today. And thank you, Roneish, for giving us your time and some tips for our audience as well. So Roneish is a finance expert and serial entrepreneur as well. So what we like to hear from Roneish today is her expertise and how she helps people. So over to you, Roneish. I want you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and a bit about your story, please.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. And yeah, really excited to be here. So my name is Roneish Myers. I'm a Forbes Featured Financial Coach. And in a nutshell, what we do is we help professionals to get good with managing their money. So, it's one thing to make money. It's another thing to be able to manage that money and ultimately multiply that money.
Absolutely.
So in terms of my background, I have worked in the world of finance for over 10 years now. My career started when I was at sixth form. I studied accounting. I then went on to university and got a degree in accounting and finance. I've worked within various organizations. I've worked in the film and TV industry. I've worked for Britain's largest marketing service agency. My career is so wide and vast, but that's really given me the experience to be able to now work with individuals on a closer proximity to help them in their finances. And I guess for me, and why we kind of started this journey in terms of financial management was because I really saw that there was a gap. I love speaking about money. Most people don't. I truly think I'm a money enthusiast. I'm a passionate advocate for, economic empowerment. And it just pretty much made sense to create a business which would do just that. And I understand that, money's typically not taught in schools. So people don't necessarily have the knowledge and the expertise to really manage their finances and make it work for them. So what we do, within Money Heave is we provide the tools, the strategies, the know-hows, etc., so that people can go out and show up fully in terms of their finances, because sometimes we find that people actually hide behind their finances.
Yeah.
They don't fully show up and do what they're called to do. They make decisions solely based on their finances. So we're really about purpose, standing in your purpose. And I know that's what you're also about. And that's one of the reasons why, I took this invitation, because I think if we can get this out there, it will just make it even better, be good to reach a wider audience. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for your background. And you mentioned really important point is like, we don't get taught how to budget. How do you manage your money in school, college, university? Nowhere. How to manage your personal finance. And that's something we've seen with student struggle. I mean, when I used to work in children's services, we used to do budgeting with caregivers, because they don't know how to manage their budget. So that's really important point. Roneish, you mentioned a bit about why you decided, but I want you to go a bit more deeper to explain to our audience why you specifically chosen finance and why specifically chosen to help others with their finances.
Yeah, very good question. So, it's so funny because I've tried to run away from finances so many times, but I just seem to be pulled back. I started working in finance since the age of 18. I worked for my local church. And so finance is a very much big part of me. As much as I've tried to run away from it. And it's something I'm just naturally good at. I saw that family friends would always come to me about some sort of money challenge, or just even if it's my opinion. So I would say, highly regarded in that respect in terms of finances, and especially with my educational background, I've spent years learning and understanding it. But in a true sense, honestly, I literally just saw a gap. I was part of a community and someone had asked for help and I saw the need. And just through working with my first client, I didn't even know financial coaching was a thing. Like I really didn't even realize it. It was a whole new world to me. And so when I had worked with her, She was like, do you know what you've done for me? This has changed my life. I've been able to reduce debt, been able to increase my credit score. I've never, ever had savings before. And that particular client is now actually working full-time in her business. She left her corporate job and is working and doing what she's really called to do. So I guess that experience really opened me up to the possibilities and saw how naturally talented I was at something. And I would say that it was probably a hidden talent of mine. And I think a lot of times we have hidden talents that we don't open up to, and this is something I've opened myself up to. So yeah, really, really excited to be able to just continue this journey and really reach lots of people. Had I been in the corporate world, would I be able to reach people on this scale? Probably not. So yeah, it's so how would I put it? It's so rewarding, this whole process, to see people really open up about money and really normalizing the conversation, not being embarrassed that you don't know how to manage your money, not, all of that sort of stuff that's taken for granted. There's no judgment when you work with myself. And, I hear from people, professionals don't know how to manage their money. Not everyone knows, and especially people in finance, believe it or not. We're very good at managing other people's money, but in terms of our own, it's just like we've had enough of finance. So we can sometimes put that to the side. So, even in my business, we get accountants who work with us, we get other people in finance that work with us, because people need to be held accountable. And especially if you want to go to the next level, it's a very important part of it. Financial goal setting, it's not just crunching numbers, it's not just about budgeting and tracking. I think that's a very, very small part of it. There's other elements, the mindset, the environment that you operate in. It's a lot bigger than budgeting. So yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks, Roneish. And absolutely. I mean, you said professionals, we all business people, professional jobs, sometimes we forget how to manage our own personal finance because we've never been taught that. In school, college, university, we get taught how to do other people's job. So you're always doing other people, but then when you go into business, you're looking at business, not your personal finance. So you could end up having so many subscriptions, so many things you don't even look at it. But you don't know where your money going. And until we take grip of our own personal finance, we can't live a fulfilled life, because we always worry behind our mind, oh, where am I spending going? What can I do next? So it's really important, as I said, is taking care of our personal finances.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to now ask you to share your top tips with our audience in terms of managing budgeting, investment and saving, and also kind of for longer time, what people need to do. So if you could, I know you do lots of courses on it. So if you could give us your top tips from the bottom, top to bottom, really, how people can take control of their finances.
Yeah, so there's three things I want to share, and I call them the 3 M's. So the first M is money mindset, okay? So what do I mean by money mindset? This is something that people just sometimes don't necessarily consider. They don't really consider their relationship with money. So a lot of people, what you find, especially in finances, they have a fixed mindset. What do I mean by fixed? It's just, I'm not good at it. I wasn't good at maths in school. My parents were crap with money, so I'm crap with money. People say this, and so they just think, okay, well, I never can be good at managing my money or making money. It's like for some next type of people. No, it's for you, but you just need to adopt a growth mindset, right? So what do I mean by growth? Meaning that you're focused on your effort. So if the effort that you put in will reflect how well you do in your finances. But if you're not doing anything in your finances, then obviously you're not going to get any new result, So just be careful about your mindset. Do you have a fixed mindset when it comes to your finances, or do you have a growth mindset? And what is your relationship like with money? Like, I remember doing this exercise with some of my clients, and it was like, if money were a person, what would money say to you? Would money say, like, you never want to let me go, you just spend me as soon as you come in? So these are things that we can be doing to really open up our consciousness towards money and really understand what's going on with money. The second thing I want to speak about is money management. Now, as I said previously, most people think it's about budgeting, it's about tracking. And let me tell you something, those tools have its place. And you could Google how to budget and track and things like that. But I want you to focus on your net worth. What do I mean by that? Looking at your assets and looking at your liabilities. So if you were to Google a celebrity, for example, it would come up with their net worth. It wouldn't say, what their income was and what their expenses were for the month. So seeing your finances in a different way, okay? So looking at your net worth, I feel like when you focus on your net worth, it just shifts the energy. Your goals are bigger than just your income and your expenses, but also treating your personal finances like if it were a business. So for example, if you think of a corporation, they have a balance sheet, they have a profit and loss, you're likely to have monthly meetings. So when you think of the balance sheet, that's your net worth. When you think of the profit and loss, that's looking at your income versus your expenses. Have monthly meetings with yourself, and even your family, and include your family in some of these discussions. Have goals, things like that. So that's really much the money management side. And the final M is money movement. Now, what do I mean by that? Your environment. So sometimes we can really engage in conversations which are negative about money. And it's just very, very, very much being mindful of that. I truly believe that your net worth equals your network, or your network equals your net worth. And so we want to be careful of the people that we have in our circle. Are they assets or are they liabilities? Is your network making introductions? Can they give you opportunities? And that's pretty much how my business was built. It was built off my network, and through people just making recommendations, and it just grew and grew and grew. So yeah, just really opening yourself up to things like that and being mindful of the conversations that you engage with, the language you use with your money. And these are some things that can really help you take your finances to another level. Yes, we can get into the finer details, as such as, check your bank account, make sure you're not paying people twice. Are you using your subscriptions? If you're not using them, then cancel those things. Absolutely, we can do all of that. But I feel like this work, the 3 M's, is a lot more deeper and a lot more meaningful. So I would say definitely focus there.
Thank you, Roneish. Yeah, 3 important points you raise is money mindset. Absolutely, how we condition, and if we don't sort out our mindset, it takes ages to shift from giving away all your money to receiving it. And that's one of the biggest problem I've seen with a lot of people, including myself. Always give, not receiving it. So definitely start with your mind relationship, money relationship, and the last point you shared about network, your network equals net worth is who you hang around with. Some people really pull you down and some people pull you up. So really worth investigating where you spend your time with and who giving you the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for your tips. Now, I want to ask you, the last final question is, if you were to leave your final thought with our audience, one final thought, what that would be?
I would say to go for what you really, really want. I truly believe that your purpose will make way for you. When you live on purpose, doors that you probably just wouldn't even believe would just start opening. So I'm really passionate about people doing what they love, doing what they're called to do, and making an impact to this world, bigger than just themselves, bigger than just getting a house, bigger than just getting a car. There's greater impact that can happen, and that's why money is a great tool, because it can really contribute to these things. So yeah, really, really excited, and thank you so much for having me. And I pray that it's really blessed someone.
Thank you, Roneish. Thank you for your tips. Now, everyone, hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, we'll be bringing you more episode on how to boost your confidence, whether it's through finance, knowing about health, improving your own confidence. So stay tuned. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you get notification when we bring new episode for you. Please subscribe, share, and talk to your friends about it. And we'll get back to you with another episode soon. Thank you very much, Roneish. Thank you for your time.